Hello everybody. So today I'm going to do some eco printing on paper, which is essentially printing with plants onto some paper. So what you'll need for this is some paper, some plants. I'm using an old rusty can and some string, and you'll need a saucepan with some water and something to weigh down your paper, like a piece of brick or something heavy. I have here a pot full of plants that I've gathered. This is actually an old rusty pot which I filled with water a few days ago to make rusty water, because I've heard that soaking the plants in rusty water acts as a mordant, which means that it'll draw out the tannins from the plants and you'll get a stronger print. I haven't tried this yet, so we're going to see if it works today. I've had quite a lot of success with eco printing before. Fairly light coloured backgrounds, but I have tried different methods. I have tried pre-soaking the paper in vinegar or in the rusty water, and I didn't really find that worked for me. All that happened was that the paper actually started to come apart. This is watercolour paper, and it actually, after I'd soaked it, it just separated into two sheets and became a thinner paper. So that's not what I wanted this time. This is some old paper that I found on the back of a picture, so I'm going to try this as well because it's already brown. So what you need to do, I haven't been letting the plants soak for very long, so I might just leave them to soak a little bit longer and then come back. So I'm back. So what we're going to do is, first of all, take our bits of paper that we want to start with. I'm going to start with the larger bit of paper. You can also spray this paper with vinegar, which I've heard works quite well also. So take the plants, just going to give them a shake out. Place them where you want on the paper. I've just got a few different leaves here, so we're trying some brown fern leaves and some green fern leaves, just to see which one has the best effect. So decide on what layout you want for your paper. I'm going to stick in another. I've got a lovely holly leaf down there as well. So then you get another piece of paper, you put that on the top. Now if you don't want double-sided prints, then you just put another piece of plain paper on top of that so that it doesn't print double-sided. Otherwise you get the back and the front of the paper that has printed on. So again, just lay your leaves wherever you want them. Now, some leaves print better than others, and some leaves will print on one side but not on the other, and it is just a matter of trial and error. So I don't know with these leaves, so I'm just trying to see which side you get the better print out of. Some people say that the brown leaves, you get a deeper print than some of the green leaves because of the tannin content. I don't know, I'll just see now. Now I'm using a smaller bit of paper. Some green leaves here. I'm just being quite higgledy-piggledy with mine, because I don't really mind how they turn out. So I'm just going to carry on building this up for a sec. So I've just added the last of my leaves. So now you take our rusty cam and you're going to wrap it all up around the cam, adding a little bit of pressure. So you press down, because it's the pressure that helps the dye process. And then you're going to take a piece of string and just wrap it around this quite nice and tight. Of course, my string's in a knot there. I'll just sort this out. So I'm just going to continue to wrap it around until all of the string is gone, and then just tuck it under somewhere. And then we're going to put this into a pan of boiling water. So I have the pan of water on to boil, which is just big enough to put the tin and the paper in. I'm going to add a tea bag, because that will help, just another thing to dye the paper. I'm going to pop the tin in there. I may add a little bit more water actually. But we don't want it to boil over. You just want it to cover, and you can turn it over, and the steam from the water will also get this. I'm going to weigh it down, just put something on the top of that just to stop it moving about. You can cover it if you want to as well, just a little bit, just to help with the steaming. Just leave a little bit open, and then you just leave it for about 45 minutes to an hour to just gently simmer. And once it's boiled, we'll come back and see what the results are. So it's been boiling for an hour or so. What I'm going to do is just wrap it up, just to squeeze some of the water in. I'm using a hot mitt here because it's still hot. I'm just going to press some of the water out. And then what you need to do is just allow it to dry. Just be very careful when you're squeezing the water out, because you don't want to tear the paper. And then unwrap it. And now what you need to do is let it dry out completely. Okay, to touch, the water was really, really dark, which is good, because it means that a lot of iron has come out, probably from the rusty can. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a really good print. So you need to leave it for at least 24 hours to dry out. So put it somewhere safe, let it dry, and then you can unwrap and see what you've got. So we'll see you again when it's dried out. So now it's time for the big reveal. It's been drying for a day, pretty much. Still a little bit damp, but the rest of the pages we can let to dry properly once we've uncurled them. Unwrapped them. So you can see you've got some lovely string marks there. You have to be very careful when you're unwrapping the paper so that you don't tear anything. So I'm just going to unroll the can. And let's see what we've got. You can already see we've got a lovely dark shape there. That's actually the leaf still stuck there, so you just need to peel off the leaves. Wow, look at that. Not much of an imprint there. find an imprint on this side though. The page was very dark. So remember we did oh, these are lovely. So these pages are still a little bit wet, so as they dry out they'll become a bit darker. So these were the pieces of paper that were already brown, and these are the ones. These are the large white pieces. So we've got some interesting patterns on the back there already. So let's have a look. Oh wow. So this was the white piece of paper, and look at this. Gorgeous leaf patterns on that one. And even the back is interesting. Let's take the leaves off. Oh, lovely. Yeah, dipping them in iron definitely has helped. And the last one, let's reveal. Oh yes, look at this beautiful pattern here and there. And then the final ones, oh beautiful. They've shifted a bit unfortunately, but that's lovely. And the back is from where the strings were, and you can see as the rope's fraying as well. So even the back looks really interesting. So there we are. And now I'm just going to put all of the pieces of paper out to dry separately on something flat. And then once they have dried again, once they've dried out, you can put all of the sheets in between some heavy books just to get the pages to be flat again. And then you're ready, all done. So I hope you give it a go. It's really, really easy, and you don't have to use a rusty can. You can just use any can. The first time I used this can, it was not rusty, but I literally just stood it outside in the garden, and it's been there for about, well, probably a year actually. So it's gone nice and rusty, and it really does help to bring out the pattern, as well as dipping the leaves into some rusty water before you put them into print. That seems to help as well, because I've definitely got stronger prints than I had before when I didn't dip the leaves in. So I think it really does help. I'm going to see how these dry out, and then what I will use them for is either to cover junk journals, or I might just use them as, again, as backgrounds for my next art pieces, because I really like these. These ones I'll probably use in junk journals because they're dark pages anyway. So I might tear them up and just add them into some junk journals, or even use them as wrapping paper. Multiple uses. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.